Buy safari tickets online and save 10%. Smarter than paying extra at gate.
क्या कौवा वाइट और ब्लैक दोनों कलर में है। हमारे यहाँ कौवा सिर्फ ब्लैक होता है। ये बात भी है जी। Which आदमी था?
Awesome, beautiful day out here. Happy to have you at Wild Wonders so we can share a variety of different animal species. And whether they're feathered, they're furry, or they're scaly, they all, despite all their differences, have a very large snout, absolutely no teeth inside of that mouth, and in it a very efficient tool for feeding on all of the wonderful insects that she loves to eat, a tongue that can extend 12 inches long. So Annabelle is an arboreal, hence the lesser anteater type of anteater, moving herself to the ground as you're seeing her demonstrate here today to get down to the fruit ants and insects living underneath. Now, if you have a good look at these guys, have very long claws. If you can see her, she's walking on some of those as pinchers or scratchers, and she also has one unique feature of a relative that we have very close to our area, which are skunks. She has a smell that she can admit, they say, is about 4 times stronger than your average skunk. And that's because they're not spraying it, so it has to be nice and strong and effective to keep any predators away. Now they're smart, they feed on anthills in several different ones throughout the day so that they're not decimating a single anthill colony. They will actually, in fact, feed on several different ones so they're not making those ants angry either, receiving a lot less bites on her course for the Annabelle, our southern tamanduá.
Donna, if you said tortoise or turtle, you are both correct. They are very similar with just a few key differences. Remember the fact that all tortoises are turtles, but not all turtles are tortoises. Tortoises are more adapted to living on land, while turtles are more adapted to living in the water. So as redfoot tortoises, they are very social species, so they like to communicate using clicks, chirps, and even head movements. 50% of the time you'll find them sitting, as Leo is perfectly showing off right there, or 50% of the time you'll find them grazing for food, looking around, trying to find vegetation. They eat a variety of vegetation, including succubuses, grasses, flowers, berries, and even fungi. So they do have a lot of benefits to their ecosystems by eating all that vegetation. One of those benefits is, while they're walking around, they'll pass their food in different areas, and that allows plants to grow in places that... Does anybody know the only mammal species with a shell? Oh, I think our armadillo into that perfect ball shape that Dora is displaying in Wyatt's hand right now. They do use their shells as protection, but they also like to get further protection by digging burrows in the wild. If you're from Southern America, you might have seen a nine-banded armadillos dig burrows that help over 60 species in the wild, so they are very generous. When they're not in their burrows, you can find them looking around for insects, but they don't have very good eyesight, so they find their insects using their keen sense of smell and their whisker-like hairs. So Wyatt is perfectly showing that she has her 3 bands on the back, and that's why they're called the 3-band armadillo. I think they've done a great job. Diego's already gone home, and Dora's been a beautiful model. So why don't we give them a big round of applause.
This time here, we are not going to focus. Joanna is a blackout. Well, it was certainly not all on their own. They didn't make their way there to Florida on those tiny little legs. It is thanks to us as humans. They've been released from pet owners into the habitat. Now, we all know that Florida has an excellent habitat and very abundant weather year-round, so these animals are able to survive and thrive. Not only is she just stunningly beautiful, but she has a very powerful tail that these guys use as a whip to defend themselves, and a very strong bite. She feeds predominantly on other animals, a little bit unusual for a lizard. Their diet is 70% animals, and then the other 30% is in fact vegetation. So with a very strong bite and a very powerful tail, just imagine trying to share your home with a full-grown tegu. She will grow to be about 3.5 feet long. Baby, being that they are a mammal, just like you and I, they do have to nurse their young, and she does have her baby tucked right inside her wing. Now this young is called an Indian flying fox. Pretty misleading with their name, they're not to grow along quite nicely. Now the bats we have in our area, the little brown bat, loves to eat insects. So having them fly around your backyard is actually quite helpful to keep our insect populations in check. Now, another role that the fruit bats do play in their natural environment is feeding on flowers and pollen and nectar. They are passively pollinating plants. So when I say the word pollinator, what do you guys think of? Bees. Absolutely. You might have noticed on your way up to here to Wild Wonders, we do have our conservation lab in partnership with Next Guest. Zippo is in fact a snake. So she's a ball python, a type of snake that you would find native to Africa, fully grown at her size, and in the snake world, females are larger than males. Now, naturally, people tend to be a little bit afraid of snakes. It's in fact one of the second most common fear to have. So important to their habitat. Feeding and eating rodents means that she's keeping those populations in check. Now, rodents are quite prolific breeders, and by having snakes in the habitat, it keeps their numbers in check, ensuring that their numbers don't increase too high to cause an impact on the economy when it comes to farming or increase the disease and germs that they do bring along with large numbers of them. Now, she is a ball python. It is a very easy name. We've named the prehensile-tailed porcupine. So, they are a South American species as well. A little bit different than the porcupines we would see here in North America. So what they would do is they would in fact feed on the leaves that they find up in the trees. Now they will stay up there and do tend to sleep away the most warmest parts of the day, making their way around at night. And when they're sleeping, they use their quills in order to be able to maneuver or to protect themselves. So they'll roll into a ball, and then they have all of their spiky edges exposed to the outside today. She's going to make her way up nice and close to the front. As I mentioned, she is a prehensile-tailed porcupine. The other myth that we hear often and get asked often with her is, do her quills have any venom or poison in them? They do not. They're just effective within themselves when it comes to the needle-like point that they have. And I can tell you from experience, when they are embedded in your skin, there's a long moment where you're is the bark of trees and the fruits and vegetation and seeds she finds growing up there. Now, here at Wild Wonders, we like to talk about the impact that animals make on their environment, but we also like to point out the fact that hopefully meeting them and learning about their impact, you think a little bit more about the impact that you and I make to their environment and our own. So we'd like to invite you now to come on down, have a better look at these animals, ask the questions that you do have, and thank you very much for supporting us here at African Lion Safari. Goodbye.